Thank you all for joining us. Today we're going to learn from celebrity makeup artist Bridget Winton on what products to use prior to and after makeup application, to really experience a look that holds up from dusk to dawn, empowering you to look your best while living the best life this summer. So for those of you that don't know Bridget is a beauty salon owner. She's in California. She's also a union celebrity hairstylist and makeup artist, wig maker, and professional image doctor. I love that. Professional image doctor. I mean, like, there's no better way to say it.
Yeah.
And she is focusing on her work on healthy and wealthy living, which I absolutely love as well. So thank you so much for being here, Bridget.
Oh, thank you. I am so excited. I love this. I love to talk to people and share what I do and share what I know, and I love learning from other people as well.
Well, and I had the privilege of meeting you in person. Oh my gosh, was that like 2 years ago now when we met in Vegas?
In Vegas, right?
Oh my gosh, time flies. And I just absolutely fell in love with you because you just have this amazing energy about you. But I know that you've worked on a lot of television and film. And so obviously when you work on, clients like that, their makeup has to last, right? I mean, there's really no way around that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know we're going to talk about 3 different products today. And the first product that we're going to talk about is actually called the Lumiere de Vie Pore Minimizing Serum. So what do you love about this serum?
Well, first of all, since even though I do makeup, I really don't wear a lot of makeup because I'm so busy doing it for everybody else. Mm-hmm. And I have lots of personal hot summers myself. So I don't want to always touch my face and mess with it. So I really like my skincare. And the first thing that I put on, after I do my toner is the pore minimizing serum.
Okay.
For one, with my clients, it helps with their, appearance, smooth out their, face, their lines and wrinkles, things like that. But for me, it just kind of has a little tint to it. So it moisturizes and it just helps with my face feeling, moisturized, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I use it a lot.
Too. I'm sorry. I was just going to say, there is just one formula, one color, but what I love about it is it just really adjusts to everybody's skin tone. So It doesn't matter, there's not all these different shades that you have to mess with. The technology is awesome with that.
Right. Well, what I was going to say is because, predominantly my clientele in the salon is African American, but I'm very diverse. Mm-hmm. But when I'm doing my facials, when I'm finished, I use that to top it off. Okay. And I have clients that are a darker skin tone, and all I do is just put it on, let it kind of set into the skin, and then I might put a little another layer, let it set into the skin. And when they get up and then they look in the mirror, they're like, "Oh, you put this on my skin? I can't even see it." Yep.
And it just makes them look so flawless.
Yes, it does. Mm-hmm. And I like using it because especially I teach a lot of people, since we have to wear these all the time, your face is going to lose a lot of its moisture. It can start itching. It can get, dry and crack. And I'm always telling my clients, make sure you do a good skincare regimen and put the products on. And some people say, "Oh, it's not going to be too much." I'm like, no, trust me. When you take this off, you're going to see the difference.
That's so true. And what I love about it too is it's actually a serum. So yes. it has so many skin benefits. However, it gives you sort of that no makeup look.
Exactly.
And so, like you said, it's such a versatile product. And I also actually feel like it works great as like a base, like a kind of like a primer before you put your makeup on as well. So I feel like
Yeah.
there's like so many different uses with the product.
Uh-oh. Well, since I don't really wear makeup during the day, this is what I use.
Yes.
Because I do want just some, I don't want to hide my freckles, but I just still want to have like a little even tone to my skin. So
Hmm.
I do love this. And I know we're not talking about this today, but this is also my
Oh
go-to,
my gosh. Yes.
my Pentaxel.
I
So
actually have to agree with you quite a bit. Those work together. So I'm assuming you
yeah.
probably put the Pentaxel on first, kind of work that into the skin, and then once that's absorbed, then do you put the pore minimizing serum over it?
Yes, and I've done it the opposite way as well. But I do put the Pentaxel on first because that has to do what it does. It goes
Right.
in and works for me.
Exactly. The other thing I love about this product, and I don't know if you use it for this as well, but it also kind of like minimizes pores as well. So
Oh
I
yeah.
have like, I've had oily skin most of my life. So I tend to have, larger pores kind of in this area too. And not only does it, help the pores, it reduces the appearance of them and kind of just almost like blurs them and makes it look flawless that way too.
Well, especially for people when they have well, when I'm doing a facial and I'm cleaning around the nose.
Yes.
So of course I've opened up more pores around the nose. So I'll put that on afterwards. And I'm really happy about using this product because it does not clog the pores.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it helps to minimize the look of the pores on the nose.
Hmm. And it eliminates shine too. So if you
Yeah.
have like more of a combination to oily skin, it's perfect, for that, but also for drier skin too, because it has so many like moisturizing benefits. And actually, I'm kind of like looking at everything about the product, and it actually does reduce the appearance of wrinkles as well. So I don't know if anybody's concerned about aging, but I am.
No, it does. It works. I have a client, I do some micro needling treatments on, and she's 75. So this is one of the products that she just loves. She's like, "Go, please, don't ever run out of this." I'm like, "No worries, we won't." She
And
loves it.
I've also like had a lot of men use this product as well because it's not like they're wearing like a thick layer of makeup. It just almost evens out their skin tone and just, I don't know, just makes their skin just look better.
Yes, it does. With my boyfriend, I try everything on him, right?
Yeah.
So I got him on the men's line. I got him using our shaving lotion and everything. And so then I told him, I said, during the day, when you come home, you're really oily in here and in the forehead. And I said, here, why don't you just try some of this? And
Yes.
and so when he gets up in the morning, of course you have to get men acclimated to new
Yeah.
things.
I love
So I tell him, here, put this on. Here, come here, let me do it. So I'll put it on. And so when he comes home, he said, you know what? My nose, it felt pretty good. It didn't get all oily in here. I'm like, see, now you got something else you need to add into your regimen
I
with
know.
your
It's like they're
cologne.
always like so surprised when something works. They're like, wow, I can't believe this is actually working. It's like, yeah, why do
Right,
you think I wanted you to try this?
right. I want you
Oh,
to look good.
yeah. So if someone's asking what product we're talking about, we're actually talking about the Lumiere V Pore Minimizing Serum.
Hmm.
It's actually available at motivescosmetics.com or lumierev.com as well. And I've actually had this bottle. I don't know if you can see it. It's almost like half gone. I've
Right.
had this bottle for a long time because all I really use is one pump, and that's really
That's
enough
it.
to cover my entire face, and I even work it into my neck
Right.
because it really like goes a long way. I'm actually going to put a little bit on my hand. I know that it might be hard to see, but I'm just gonna put a drop there and just kind of show
And
people.
look how much you just put that little drop, but
Yeah,
look how much it
yeah,
emulsified in your,
it's covering like my entire hand.
yeah.
So, and it doesn't feel like greasy or thick. Yeah, I mean, I've never used a product like this until this came out. And when we came out with it, I was like, okay, this sounds like something I need. And I started using it and my skin just started to change. Like I noticed on myself, because sometimes like for me with oily skin, primers can feel just kind of almost like too much. So I
Right.
use this usually as my primer, kind of depending on what the weather's like and what I'm doing. And but like for summer right now, oh my gosh, this is like a godsend.
And you know, to me, it kind of has like a when it goes on, it's silky, but like a little powdery type of feel.
Yeah, yeah.
So it doesn't feel oily. And once you put it on, I don't know, it just goes on. It feels like really smooth because this is where I use it a lot, and I use it
Okay.
here and I use it here.
Yeah, I mean, so like if anyone that's watching has used this, if you want to just put in the comments what you love about it, because I know other people like to hear from others too, as far as what have you noticed or what have you used. I was teaching a class once and I had a gentleman there that he was like, I'm going to try it on my forehead. And he had like kind of like a couple wrinkles across his forehead. And he actually put it on just one side. And then we took a picture of it and I couldn't believe the difference.
Oh,
I was like, oh my gosh. And that's the only thing that he put on there. And it just like made everything look like you could barely see it.
see
And
it.
with those light reflecting ingredients in there, it just kind of like blurred it out. So I also joke that this is sort of like that instant filter in a bottle, because all of our cameras are so good now where it kind of like sees like
Picks up
everything.
everything. Yes.
So you got to use things that are going to help that.
Well,
Yeah,
also when I'm applying makeup, because we have lots of primers and gels and things
yeah.
to, especially with our custom blend. But when I'm use the pore minimizing serum and then I put on makeup, my makeup, it just goes on so smooth. I don't have to keep blending and blotting. It just goes on really smooth on the face.
That is so true. And so we actually have somebody's asking, do you still have to use a moisturizer? Yes, absolutely. This does not take the place of your
Right.
moisturizer. So, depending on
Yeah.
what you're using or what your skin type is, we have a lot of different moisturizers. We actually have a skin analysis that you can take as well. But if you actually go to our website and look up this product, there's a little video there by one of the doctors that we work with. And she did like a quick little video about the product as well. So if you kind of want to hear a little bit more about that, you can definitely do that. But yeah, I mean, I usually just kind of put it a little bit on my fingertips and, this would be after like I've done my skincare steps. This would kind of be the last thing before I put on my makeup. I know
Right.
though it says it's a serum, that's kind of the order of doing it there as well. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I can't live without this product. So I was excited when we were talking about it. And someone's asking again, it's the Lumiates and V Pore Minimizing Serum.
Right.
Yeah. So once we do our makeup and we do all that, now we had Song on 2 weeks ago, and she was kind of talking about some of the tips that she uses, to get makeup to stay. But then we have like 2 amazing setting sprays that I wanted to touch on.
And I will tell you, the one that I first started using was the 10 years younger, when I first came in the company, which matter of fact, yes, I still have the same original bottle too. I don't know why I never got rid of it, but because I was so used to using setting sprays in the business, in the industry, because we need that makeup to stay. And so I said, well, okay, I'll try mine. But when I would use this on the actors, first of all, it smells good and it was really light. It was a lot lighter than what we use in the industry. And throughout the day, they were like, Bridget, my face is still tight and it's not sweaty, because with the lights, well, I use both because the oil and the setting spray, but with the lights, we really need as much help as we can get. So that setting spray, the 10 years younger, and that was another thing, because since it's called 10 years younger, a lot of the older actresses, they're like, look, if this doesn't make me look 10 years younger, you better throw this out. And I said, well, let me spray.
Yeah, let's spray it on. I've had people ask me, well, if I spray it on enough, like 3 times, will it make me look 30 years younger? It's like, well, doesn't hurt to try.
Right. But it does. It gives the skin a nice little tight feeling. So they like it. And it's hard for me to actually be a salesperson on set because we're really not supposed to do that. So I lead by example by having my products. And so they're like, oh, girl, can I get some of that? I'm like, yeah, I'll order you some.
Yeah,
so they use it after work too.
It's just like people notice the difference and they want the products. So good thing that you have the ability to, retail those products to them and you can just have it sent right to them. It's so simple and easy.
That's right.
I love that. And so I always show when I'm using it too, because I do like a lot of brides in the summertime. And I was just telling you before we went live that I live in Wisconsin, but our summers are so humid. Like today we have 95% humidity. Ooh. And I need their makeup to last. And on the bottle, it actually says it lasts up to 16 hours. Mm-hmm. And so I do have some tricks, on how I get the makeup to stay. But I'm going to actually spray it on because I haven't used it yet because I knew that we were going to, be talking about the product. And I thought, well, maybe I'll show them how to do it. So you always want to shake it up just to make sure that all the ingredients are, not separated. And then what you can do is you can spray like a T and then an X. And that's just kind of ensuring that it gets on all over your face.
Right.
And about like 7 inches away. But then what I'll do is if I need the makeup to last like really, really long and it's humid, I might put just a little more setting powder on and then I'll actually spray it again.
Right.
I'll let it dry and then I'll spray it a 3rd time. And I am telling you, like this resists humidity just from a personal experience, like nothing else I've ever used. It does give just like a nice like finish to the skin. I wouldn't say it's like really glowy, like it's not really shiny. Well, you can kind of see on my skin.
Right.
It just gives it almost like a fresh look.
Right.
So sometimes too, like it will, like if you use like almost too much powder on the skin, it kind of looks powdery. This will sort of fix that too. Like it'll mesh it all together so it looks, really, really natural too.
And I've done that when I've done, my eyeshadows. And sometimes the eyeshadow's just a little bit too much. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to go in and start doing too. So I will take a little bit of spray, just spray it and let it sit. And then I'm like, ooh, good. That saved me from being too bold,
Exactly. Like, thank goodness for that. You know what else I actually love to use it for too? Is I use a lot, like instead of using a lot of eyeliner and stuff under the eye, I'll like spray my brush with this, dip it in my eyeshadow, and then I'll use that, as like kind of a eyeliner, I guess you could say.
Well, because what it does, because they have actually products for that, but I do like doing that because it not only helps the pigment be a little bit more radiant when you put it on, but it helps it to last. So for people that if you're rubbing your eyes a lot, or like you said, the brides, it doesn't run. It'll help it stay in place.
Yeah. Exactly. Or even like spraying your eyeshadow brush when you want the pigment just to be a little bit like more intense, like you want it to pop a
Right,
little bit too.
right,
Absolutely works great for that. But then when you're using it, then it's making everything kind of last a long time too. So you don't have to worry about that.
right. Now, I'll tell you one more tip before we move on,
Yeah.
if we're going to do that. Um, I'll take my mascara spoolie and spray it on and brush it on the eyebrows, and
Okay.
then I'll put the powder, because I know we have our wax in
Right.
our trio, but I like using it to where it sets the brows, but it gives me still that hair stroke look.
Yeah. I love that tip. I've
Yeah.
actually never done that. So I love that. I'm gonna have to try that as well because not only that, like sometimes you run out of the wax in the eyebrow kit and you
Right.
don't, you kind of run out of that and then you're like, oh, what should I do now? And mine get a little unruly.
Right. Well, that 10 years younger, it'll help set the eyes, what's the hair, the eyebrows, and then you
Yeah.
can just still take your powder and or your pencil, whatever you're using, but it still gives you a natural look instead of a, s- a meshed, like mashed down look as if you overuse that wax.
And that's important now too, because with you working like film and television, those HD cameras pick up like everything. So it has to be, it has to look good. So I love that tip. Oh my gosh, like that's awesome.
And one more tip.
Yeah.
I will also use it around the lips so the lipstick won't bleed.
Ah.
So I just take it on my wedge. I'll use the wedge sponge, not the egg sponge, and I'll spray it and then I'll tap it around
Okay.
and let it set. Then when I put the pencil on, it barely bleeds,
Oh
because
my
some people
God.
have those lines that it'll bleed into, but
Yeah.
that helps fill in that.
That's a great tip. Oh my gosh, I never thought of that. I do know that some people they'll actually they'll spray their sponge with it and they'll set underneath the eye too,
Oh yeah,
and it'll really prevent things from creasing as much, especially if you do need to put a little bit more concealer on and set that with a powder. It just kind of like freshens
yeah,
things and then makes it so nothing kind of moves
yeah.
on the face as well. So I mean, that I love. Oh my gosh, girl, you've got like some tips here.
This is liquid gold.
Liquid gold. I know, and like literally this too. Like, I mean, this bottle I think is like 29.95, and like it's finally this one's kind of towards the bottom here, but I've had this for I don't even know how long. I keep
Yeah,
one in
that's a
my kit that I travel with, and then I have obviously one, in my studio here. But someone
yeah.
said they said let's see. I saw, oh, how do you use this with the HD powder? So you would actually like put the HD powder on first,
Mm-hmm.
and then this, I like to actually use this before I put on the mascara because sometimes if people have like really long eyelashes and they close their eyes and then they open them if they're still wet, it'll kind of transfer.
Right.
But sometimes I'll forget, and usually it's okay. But I use this at the end after I'm done, with all of their makeup. I'll spray it on that way. The other thing that I've actually used it for too is sometimes people want a little bronzer like on here or here, like brides and stuff. So I'll put their bronzer, I'll put like a bronzing lotion on, and then I'll spray this over it as well to kind of make sure that I don't want anything transferring on their
Yeah.
white dress or whatever.
Right.
So that
Right.
really will help that as well.
That was a good tip. I didn't think
I
about
know,
that.
like when you need something, you kind of think of it, right? And
Right.
that's always it. And like I also will cover a lot of tattoos, because
Oh,
sometimes when brides are
yeah.
getting married, and this like too, like I will layer this on there as well. And oh my gosh, the other thing, and I think you kind of mentioned this before we went live, is if you're kind of like feeling a little warm, like if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
getting hot, you can
Yeah.
spray this on and it almost like just cools the temperature of not
Instant.
only you, but your skin, like
Yes.
makes you feel a little
Instant.
bit better, fresh. So it does kind of make you require less touch-ups, but you can spray it on throughout the day. Like if you feel like you just need like a little freshening of your makeup, because like, I don't know about you, Bridget, but when I do my makeup, I want it to last. I don't want to have to touch it up. I don't have time for that. And I get
No.
up early, I do my makeup, and it needs to look good until, 10 o'clock at night. But if
Right.
you need a little pick-me-up, I'll just kind of spritz that on a little bit, and it works awesome.
Right. Yeah.
But we have another setting spray.
That's right. We do. That is that oil control spray.
Yeah.
Can't do without that one either.
This one too. This is
Right.
called No More Shine.
Yes. No more shine. Now, I will also use that the same way I used it 10 years younger, before and after. But I also like when I'm doing touch-ups and I want to get rid of the shine. You have the black papers.
Yes.
So I will spray the oil, the shine, no more shine, but let it set, and then I'll take black papers because it kind of puts it in the skin a little more. So that way you're not touching the skin, and a sponge is not touching the skin to take it off, but the black paper, it just sets it in, so then you don't have the shine.
That's a great, so that you just do, like if somebody says, yeah, I tend to have a little bit more oil or combination skin, you just automatically do that at the end to make sure it's pressed in?
Well, throughout the day as well,
throughout the
because
day.
when we have those those lights, those hot lights,
Yeah.
especially for bald men on camera.
Oh yeah. You don't want shiny heads.
I spray it, and then I'll take the blot paper and I let it dry a little bit, because if you keep putting makeup on more and more and more, you get a cakey look.
Yeah, that's so true.
You already have your makeup on, and you spray the no more shine, and take that black paper, and it just kind of sets that makeup in a little bit more, but it takes it to a matte finish.
So somebody's asking what's black paper. She's saying blotting paper.
Oh.
So like if you have oily, like any kind of surface oil, you can just use blotting papers that kind of absorb the oil. So that's what she's using to kind of press the No More Shine into the skin, but also, kind of, and I've never blotting papers are okay, but yeah, it's not gonna work as good as using it with this for sure.
Right.
That's only gonna take so much. They're so thin that like if they're really oily, it's just gonna absorb the paper, and you'd have to keep on.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of
because the paper looks like a oily, when you really do have someone with oily skin, that paper, when you blot it, it comes back very oily. But when you put the No More Shine, it kind of helps set that back in, and you eliminate a lot of that oil.
Exactly. So I like your tip too. If they kind of tend to be a little bit more oily, I'll spray this on their face before I even do their foundation, because it will kind of just help that surface oil. I'll do all of their makeup, and then I'll actually spray this on again, just like I did the 10 years younger spray. And then but the thing is, you can actually use these two together.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So people ask me that all the time. They're like, well, which one should I use? Well, especially if somebody has that combination skin, I'll actually use both. I'll use the No More Shine, and then I'll finish it with the 10 years younger over. So it just really depends. They're both for all skin types.
Right.
It's just that the No More Shine is going to be a little bit more of like a mattifying effect, and it's going to control that surface shine a little bit more. Whereas the 10 years younger is going to kind of just give you more of that, I don't know, like flawless, youthful look, I guess.
Yeah, a little tightness to the skin.
Yeah.
But, a lot of women too, like myself, when you have those personal summers, you spray that No More Shine, take my little fan, and I fan myself, and I'm good to go with less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
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 then,
I spray it here too.
right, exactly. And you can spray throughout the day as well. So I just always kind of make sure, like, if I'm going to spray multiple times, that it's dry before I spray again. Like, you want it to spray at X and a T, let it dry. That's why,
Yeah.
fanning is good too. And then you can spray it again. Do you use fans on set a lot?
Well, we use the motor fans, the
Yeah.
little one. Yes, because the actors, they need their fans.
Yeah.
So, because this will work up a sweat if you do it too much.
Sure.
But yeah, we do use the motorized little fans, battery operated. And so, they sit there like that. But that's when I have this in my kit. And I'm like, well, before you do that, let me spray first. So you can set that makeup back in.
And you know how else I've used it? I actually just thought of this, that I forgot to say this, but you can actually, like, after they put deodorant on, you can spray this over the deodorant too, to kind of just block that as well, because you know how
Ooh.
sometimes it transfers and you don't really want that. So you can definitely, I use the No More Shine for that. So I don't know, do they have any other things that they use any products for? Because
Now that's a good tip. I'm gonna.
you're like, oh, that one's, yeah. I mean, like, think about it though. I mean, obviously, clear deodorant is probably best, especially if they're changing and doing stuff like that. But yeah, it'll kind of like just help set that a little bit too. So yeah, so people are just saying, love it, love it, love it. Use the 10 years younger. Love the brow tip. 10 years younger spray. I feel like 10 years younger spray is like probably more popular than the No More Shine, but I feel like people don't realize what the No More Shine does, because if you deal with any kind of like surface oil, you're usually looking for anything that'll help a little bit. So
the go-to product. For people that do hair, let me tell you a trick with the 10 years younger.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of times when we're doing hair and you have to fill in like a thin spot, with the powder.
Yeah.
We use the different types of powders. So usually they have like a setting spray that comes with that particular product. So if you don't have their setting, because you run out of that quick because you're using it so much. Because when you put the powder on, you need it to stay. You don't want it to fly around. You don't want it to get on the clothes, because the wardrobe people, they get pissed off when hair stuff gets on the clothes.
They don't want that.
No. And so you also don't want to use hairspray, because you need the hair to keep moving. Because if you use hairspray to set it, then you've set the hair.
Sure.
So I've taken the hair powder, 10 years younger, and set it in there.
That makes so much sense.
So that's a hair tip.
I love hair tips because, I'm a hairstylist. So, oh my gosh, that is like brilliant. I love that. And like you said too, like I've used, being in the industry a long time like you, I've used so many different products, so many different setting sprays. And like these are by far my favorite, because they don't feel sticky. They don't feel heavy. They work like they should. It reduces like the smudging. It makes the makeup last. Like honestly,
for all skin types, everything.
Yes, for sure. So let's see if there's any other questions here. Oh yeah, Mike says that he uses the setting spray to foil shadows, and it sets it down so the shadow won't move. It also like prevents that fallout that you get a lot of times when you're using. I feel like our shadows don't really have fallout because they're just I don't know, the way they formulate them. But yeah, absolutely, for sure, it will definitely make the foil just kind of pop a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh. Well, I don't know about you, but like I don't know. This was so much fun. I think we're gonna have to do this more often with you.
Hey, let me know. Got a lot of tips.
We're gonna have to have you on more, because we do this every single week. We have our Women Crush Wednesday, And you know, I just love learning from other professionals in the industry, and like I learned a lot of tips from you. So I'm excited about that because sometimes you just don't think outside the box like that, and it totally makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah, our products, I mean, I cleaned out my kit of all the stuff that they give us on set because they give us a lot of comp products. But
Yeah.
I've substituted with everything that we have because I can use pretty much everything. And there's times I've had just a little small kit, but because of the little products, the necessities that I have, you can think about things on the spot, when you
Right.
have to troubleshoot.
Exactly.
So we have pretty much basically everything out there on what's in the market we have.
So like when you look at your kit, your professional kit, like how much of it are our products?
Everything now,
100%.
everything.
I
If
love
I were to open my kit now, everything,
it.
because it makes it easy for me. Because and then look, I don't know if you can see, but I don't know where my
I can
all
see
my
lots of stuff.
palettes, all of our palettes. I buy every single one of our palettes. Matter of fact, I'm still using my favorite that we don't even sell anymore for me. But all of our palettes I buy because it takes the guesswork out of me putting together all of my, stuff
Yeah.
that I used to put together. So now when I have a actress, and I know what her color scheme is, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna use that palette. It's easy. All the
Yeah.
colors are right here.
I love that.
So it's so easy. Everything we have.
So what's your favorite palette that we don't have anymore?
Oh, it's the I thought I put it right here. The black palette with the eyes. It used to show how to do the eye.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's right there, but I don't want to get up to go get it. But
Well, that's okay. Maybe on the Facebook post you can put a picture of it. I know what you're talking about. That is old. We haven't had that one for a while.
see, I bought a lot of them, and because I
Yeah.
was selling it because they had the two lip glosses in
Yes.
it, and then it had because a lot of my clients when I used to teach my classes, it helped because it had the designs of how to
Right.
A, B, and C, and they were like,
Anybody
"Oh,
know what it's called? Like, tell us, help us out here. Oh, my
uh,
party weapon. Yes, Mike, it's my party weapon. He said he has
yes,
3 of those. And they're like, kind of like not shimmery, but they have like a little bit of glitter in them. Like they're fun. Like, so
and
that does make sense. That is the name because it's kind of
they
like,
have some mattes in it."
yeah,
And I'm
that
gonna be
too.
honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of times I use eyeshadow as blush. So what you see
Yeah.
on my face is everything out of that palette.
Okay. Do you feel like, because I feel like we have some of those colors in our other palettes now, but just maybe not all together.
Oh,
Like,
we still have other colors.
no, I
You're
mean
saying,
like from the palette that's discontinued, I feel like we've had, palettes
oh,
come out with similar colors, but maybe
yeah,
not all together.
yes,
My
we
party
do.
weapon or beauty weapon or
It's
my
my
beauty
beauty
weapon.
weapon.
That's what it. Well, didn't we have one? I think it says party on it though, or something, doesn't it?
No, it's my beauty weapon.
Okay.
Now that, yeah,
All right.
I
See, we need a little
I-
help from our friends there because it's like,
right.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so Mike has 3 of them. He loved that one too. Yeah, we still have the Maven's palette, the Element palette. That's a good palette too. But I mean, I love all of our palettes. Right now, I tend to be using the Talia one.
Oh yeah,
In
I do.
fact, actually today I used the Euphoria though, because I used Talia yesterday. But yeah, it's fun just to kind of like experiment and use different things and use different
Yeah.
colors that you wouldn't normally use. But
Well, and then that's an easy way of how I used to sell my palettes when I took
yeah,
my palettes on set and I just laid them out. So that way it was like, oh, I want that palette. Oh, I need that palette.
yeah.
And I used to just comp, like, at the end of the seasons, you have these wrap gifts. I used to comp palettes to every, all the people in the makeup trailer. And then they'd say, oh, hey, can I get another one of those palettes? Because when you go to the different Hollywood beauty supply stores, those palettes cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
They cost a lot of money, and they don't give you what we have in it. So
Not the same
when I
quality.
tell them how much our palettes are, they're like, what? So
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Awesome. Well, I don't know, but we're gonna definitely kind of have you back again. So, but I just really appreciate you. I know it's early in California, so I appreciate you kind of getting up and being here with us. And I loved all of your tips. And so I'm gonna put those into play real quick here because I got some gigs coming up. So I'm so glad I have all the products on hand so I can use it for that. But yeah, I mean, just thank you so much, and I just really
no
appreciate
problem.
you and just your willingness to help us and keep doing
I
what
appreciate
you're doing, girl.
I appreciate it. I love this. Anytime I can share. I did see someone say, where am I located? I'm in San Diego,
San Diego.
but I travel, I work in LA. So yeah.
How
But I
how long
love
does it take to get to LA from where you are or where you usually
it's
work?
it's okay. If you time it, good, no traffic, hour and 45 minutes.
Okay.
But if you're in traffic, no, about 2 to 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But what I normally do, because our call times are very early, so I leave way, way early in the morning, miss the traffic, get there, take a nap, and I'm ready to go to work.
Yeah, that's smart to do that. So you're
Yeah.
used to getting up early, but I still
Yeah.
appreciate you kind of being here with us early. And
Thank
but,
you.
but yeah, and if anybody has any other questions on the Facebook, just keep asking them, and we'll go back and we'll look because we realize that not everybody can watch them live. So don't be afraid
Right.
to ask your questions, and just make sure if you want any of these products, you reach out to the person that invited you, or you can find them at motivescosmetics.com. Well, thank
Right.
you, my dear, and you have the most wonderful day ever, and just keep on rocking.
All right. Thanks. And everybody have a blessed day and stay safe.
Yes, you too.
All right.
Bye.